Okay, I've changed the drawing around a little bit. I moved these all to the bottom, mostly so we can clear this area up for some 3D model visuals to help tell our story better. And I've gotten all the um, sections to report the red better. It was showing up as gray, and that had to do with the setting that I had on the materials. And it hadn't happened the last time I created this, but we have an appearance palette, which is the 3D modeling environment, and then the graphics is really the kind of like a 2D visualization. And I had unselected this use rendering appearance, and that was affecting whether it would show up or not. So I changed that, and I corrected the way this looked. So now I have these relatively nicely lined up. I've gone ahead and changed the names. Like this is the cantilever beam version, or view 1, view 2, column, typical beam, V1 and V2. So the last thing I really want to do before we kind of annotate the whole drawing with notes is to bring in our 3D model and some views. So I think we need to add a few more details to that. So I'm going to go up to this view, and actually let's go out and look at what this actual building looks like. Now you'll see we have some brickwork showing, stonework showing, walls, and then there's a bit of a mesh, and it's clear one story from grade, some horizontal bars. Let's see if we can't make just a few of these elements so we can get a sense of perspective. So let me go back to Revit and see what I can do here. So I'm going to zoom in. These are those 4 elements. So let's go ahead and make some wall. So grab the wall tool, and we'll make some cinder block wall, CMUs. I'm just trying to pick it for finish. And I'll start back a couple of units. And I'm going to stay in a little bit outboard of the poles or columns because I don't want them to show. And we know we want to come up short on that. And then this will bounce over. Let's say we'll go over 6 feet, and then I'll return back. And let's see if I can't grab these. I forgot to make any settings for their height. So I'm going to go and guess that it's going from level 1, and it's unconnected, let's say up to, it's 85 feet, so let's say 65 feet. And I'll just mirror that over. And we'll just take a look at that in a 3D view. I'm going to go and, this view has been kind of screwed up a little bit, but there we go. So there we got our 2. Now we just need some other elements at those other 2 grids. And working with grids is kind of nice because we can quickly move some of these elements around. So I'm going to grab I'm going to grab these 3 wall elements. And I'm going to copy them over. And if I grab any part of the grid, I can just move it over that amount. And that obviously doesn't return all the way back here, so let's just shorten this one up. Now let's put a little glazing in here. Oops. Sorry. Sorry about that. I'm going to put some storefront glazing in now, just to fill in that other area. And we're going to go up to 65 feet again. And we'll just go from the center. Let's take a look at what we've got. Alright, so let's go ahead and set up a better view. Go to the site and really get a view as you would coming down the street. So I'm just going to switch to camera view here. And we'll just render it up realistically. We're probably a little short with the 65-foot height with all of the walls. I should have tied them to another level. Let's go ahead and not worry too much about it. Let's see if I can select all these walls. And let's see if I can raise them up to, I don't know, 70 feet. And I'll see if I can do the same with the curtain walls or the storefront. I'm going to go back and look at this view. It seems like the relationship to the street looks a little closer than ours, but I'm not exactly sure what I'm doing wrong there yet. Alright, so let's go ahead and make those vertical baguettes, if you would want to call them. So I'll go back to the site view. Trying to figure out where. There we go, work at level 1. And we'll make a model in place mass. I don't know why that disappeared. I maybe had it connected to the wrong. Let's go to south elevation, see if we can find it. I'm going to make that one more time. Pay better attention. Let's go back to level 1. And we'll go to really shouldn't have to be that huge. I'm going to make it deeper so I can see it. Oh, it's going down probably. It's saying depth. So let's see what we've got here. Go back to a south elevation, see if I can see this thing. All right, there it is. Oh, I was at top of steel. Let's see if we can get this under control here a little bit. Yeah, let's make some mobile copies of it. Let's see what 100 will do. Probably needed more like 20. Guess I wasn't off that much. All right, let's see if I can grab these. All right, let's adjust our rendering, see if we have something that looks suitable. Turn off the edges. Take our shadows way down because we've got so much going on here. Oops. Okay, let's hide these in view. Let's crop this down. I'm not happy with the, oops, I believe I got rid of even the, actually I almost like that better. I didn't like the way I created those, and I don't really think I'm going to spend the time overworking our model here. It's really just a conceptual idea of the framework. So let's see what that looks like when we put it on the sheet. Okay, with a little bit of editing here, I think that's fine. Deactivate the view. I'm going to go ahead and throw this out and drag it back on again. Actually, before I do that though, I'm going to rename this. Model view. And there's one more element I want to create. Might just still work with. I think we've got more volume here. I'm sorry I'm so fussy with some of this stuff, but I'm doing it kind of on the fly here. I think we got too much drawing showing, so I'm going to just peel this back a little bit. I'll drag that back on again. And last thing I want to do is create that detail up there. One of the ways to do that is actually to use this view again. So if I take this and I duplicate it, and I just go duplicate, and we'll give it we'll rename it right away. Model detail view. And then let's go ahead and control what we're seeing here. So I'll take this element here and I'm going to hide it in view. I don't probably need to worry about the building because one of the things I can do is create a section box. And let's go ahead and pull that up. And tighten this in. I want a little more of the column to show, but I don't want so many elements that you can't see what the... And we'll crop this way down. And as it sometimes is, real fussy, it won't. So we're going to hide the section box. And let's put that on the sheet. And it leaves us a little bit of room for some notes. I want to make sure that I don't have my crop region showing. Okay, so next time, next clip, we're going to deal with some of the issues related to the actual analysis, what we found out from that analysis, and how we might want to annotate this. With the idea, we might want to be thinking that we're going to go into a meeting with a structural engineer, show them our concept, and show them where we are identifying critical issues about things like how big we want the columns to be, concerns we have about how these things will be assembled, stress places for where we're thinking loads are. And as I'm saying that, I'm realizing there's a view missing. And that's a kind of idea of this, where we're seeing the load pass. So let's just manipulate this image and use that also. All right, so we take that one now, and we'll put that on the sheet also. And let's rename this. Loads for review. And we'll scale it up. Let's see, that should probably be about 7. Let's see what happens if we do that. All right, a little bit bigger. And then I'll drag that back on again. Okay, there's our sheet. I think we want to add a lot of notes about what our thinking is on things. So we'll pick that up in the next clip.